2, 1, and we are live. And welcome to the Standout CEO Show. And today we are talking about how to celebrate your voice. In fact, the title of this episode should be How to Celebrate Your Unique Voice. Because we all have something inside of us that is completely distinctive and unlike anything else out there. And yet, most of us and most people who you see, we all start kind of blending in and looking the same and showing up in a very similar way to the people all around us. And for whatever work we do and for whatever message we have, we now have the ability to speak to the masses via the internet. And there is such a large and growing cacophony of voices these days that it becomes increasingly difficult to actually stand out and have your unique way of looking at the world break through and reach your designated audience. So anyway, to help us with this quandary, to help us come up with some solutions for how to do this really well, particularly if you are a business leader and you are female, because I know that standing out and speaking your mind can be even more challenging and difficult for women. And this is unfortunate part of the way the world is, but our guest today, her name is Galit Ventura-Rozen, and she is a business performance coach. And she is devoted to teaching women how to promote themselves with their voice by speaking. And so I'm going to take a deep dive. One of the things that she's done, which I'm super fascinated about, is that she's actually created an entire television network for women entrepreneurs who are the hosts of their own show. This is an opportunity. So if you're listening out there and you're thinking, oh, that could be me, I'd like to be on television and have my own show. Well, we're going to talk about how she did this, how this whole network works, and even possibly how you could be a part of that network. So stay tuned, don't touch that dial, and let's start the show. Galit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you here. I'm just going to adjust my camera just slightly, bring the light up just a little bit. So here we are. And this particular topic is something I'm super passionate about, simply because I think it's really true for many, many, many of us that we find ourselves kind of holding ourselves back in a variety of ways. And this comes from all kinds of sources. So in your case, like you are now a leader, particularly in helping women stand out. So first of all, how do you describe, like I gave you this brief introduction, how do you describe the work that you do? And how do you talk about this work when you're out there saying, hey, this is what I'm up to, this is the mission that I'm on?
Well, I first start out with I'm absolutely a serial entrepreneur. I have 4 businesses. I started my first business straight out of college, which was not very common at the time, 25 years ago. And I entered into a male-dominated industry, commercial real estate, still own all of my businesses. And what I found was there really was a missing link to women leaders showing other women how to stand in their power, be entrepreneurs, and really, like you said, have their own voice and stand out. And that's really how I started becoming a business performance expert, not out of some need, more out of passion, because I do have successful businesses that are doing amazing every day. But I felt that it was so important to show other women it is possible to have the life that you want, live it the way that you want, be successful in whatever way that might look like for you.
Yeah. So, all right, male-dominated industries. There's certainly no shortage. In your navigating through that world, I mean, this really involves taking a lot of risks. Like standing out in any way, we as humans, our nature is, we want to fit in, we want to belong, we want to blend in so that it's not dangerous to us. Like if you do something crazy or something outstanding or something where you had this idea and for whatever reason it didn't work the way you hoped, that comes with potential consequences. And so in your world, especially in the real estate world, like how did you find yourself navigating all of that?
For me, it's been always about surrounding myself with people that were there to support me and not cut me down, as well as recognizing that since I was what I like to call at the time this orphan in the industry, that there were organizations out there and other women like me all over the United States, if not the world, that were experiencing similar challenges that I was. And that there was a world out there of people that were willing to support you. Even before the internet was really a big thing, it was just a matter of trying to find it and surrounding yourself with that support, with those people that were your cheerleaders. That's really what I remember getting me through it. And also probably a little bit of having three younger brothers and always being around boys and just feeling comfortable in that atmosphere. That probably helped me a little bit as well. I knew a lot about the shenanigans. I knew a lot about how the male mind worked versus the female mind, because at times it's very different. And that absolutely supported me in my success.
Yeah. Being the older sister, that was probably good.
Yeah,
I had an older
I'm
sister.
sure. Yeah.
So, all right. So surrounding yourself with people who can be part of your support group. And, given that we've just gone through 2 years of social isolation, what have you seen, working in ways that, for 2 years, the normal way of meeting with people, the normal way of gathering has really been on hold. What are the things that you've seen working in terms of maintaining this kind of support network, even though social distancing has kind of been enforced and we haven't been able to meet in person as much as we used to?
I will tell you that for me, I like to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So that's how Everyday Woman was born. In March 2020, one of my good friends and I that have our own businesses said exactly what you just said, Brad. What are women going to do to find the support that they need? Because now they are in their homes in some shape or form locked in. And that's really how we started Everyday Woman in a women's group on Vegas. I'm sorry, I'm in Las Vegas. A women's group online on Facebook called Women Supporting Women Professionals and Entrepreneurs, and also what we'll be talking about a little later, Everyday Woman TV. So that's what I did. So I created something that would continue to support me. We were having speed networking events through Zoom. We were showing up every day and doing Facebook Lives. We were making sure we were connecting all the women. We just made sure that there was a support system. We were putting on free programs like stress management of working from the home, how to balance life and work, things you could do virtually, like there's actual museum tours and zoos. We were trying to be part of the solution to actually give people what you were talking about, which is, wait, we've changed. Times have changed. This was about 2.5 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And that's what we decided to do, myself and Angela.
Yeah, I really love that. I mean, I think this was, 2 years ago, I think there was this huge opportunity for the people who were willing, to take the risk to show up for their community and do things just like what you're describing, do live videos, form a virtual community where people could meet and gather and continue to network virtually. And the ones like yourself who were brave enough and willing enough to show up on a regular basis for their community are the ones that are, found themselves pretty much thriving throughout these last couple of years, because people have,
I agree,
more than ever, really appreciating that work and those efforts. And just as I want to put a pin on that, for anybody who's paying attention right now, it's not too late. You can still do this kind of thing. So as you're doing this and you're working with these groups of women, how are you guiding them in terms of enabling them to step up and start using their own voice in their own way and sort of putting their own message out into the world.
Well, a lot, excuse me, a lot of the women that we attracted at the time, we have a group of about 13,000 women on Facebook. They were really women that were either transitions to working from home and having to juggle now a family or whatever was going on at home, or women that had their own businesses and thought, what do I do now? How do I support myself? So we started first and foremost with free classes. We did free classes for 6, 8, 9 months, if not more. And we would just show up, and as Zoom was a thing before the pandemic. I know a lot of people didn't know that, but we were already using it because we were in our own businesses coaching people from all over the world. So it was something that was comfortable for some people, and for some people it was brand new. And first and foremost, we started with the mindset. So we had women that were very stressed out. We had women that were very overwhelmed. We had women that were panicking. It happened to a lot of people because nobody knew what was going to happen. It was very uncomfortable and it was the unknown. So the first thing we did was work on the mindset and say, okay, guys, look, you've got the world at your fingertips. We live in a world of technology. Let's take advantage of that. The second thing that we did is we realized that they wanted to learn how to make money. Well, everybody has a talent. Everybody has a gift of some sort. If it's the job that they're performing at, or if it's the business that they do, it could be a product that they sell. It could be something that they create, or it could be a service that they're an expert in. If it's coaching, health, nutrition, a business, life coaching, whatever it might be. And we just decided, let's do some really general classes to show them how to be on social media, how to be visible, how to show up. That's really how it started. And honestly, Brad, we started it in March 2020. We launched the Facebook group. We started having classes pretty much right away. And it was just a way that we knew we could give back. Because at that time, we were blessed to be okay because our businesses were fine. So why not take this extra time where we're at home and give back? And that was really the focus. And the way that we could support these women was by showing up, being a voice, letting them voice what they were having struggles or challenges with, and then just really responding with the solutions.
Yeah, so 13,000 women.
Yeah,
That's really quite
I
a
know,
large
right?
quite a large community.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, it is. It's really cool. And it's a great group of women, and they all want to help each other. They all want to connect. They all want to be the better self that they want and desire. So it just makes it a really nice place to be supported, especially during all the crazy that was specifically going on more so.
Yeah. Do you want to just share a story or two maybe about just some individual who came in during this time and kind of the
Absolutely.
trajectory that they went on?
Absolutely. We had a woman that was working at the same job for 40 years and she got laid off. She had never done anything else. And instead of going into panic, she came into the group, she came into the speed networking event, she came to the classes. We were doing them practically weekly. And she said, well, maybe I finally got that kick in the butt that I've been needing for 40 years. I've been wanting to leave my job for years and I want to start my own business. And so what she got from us was hundreds and hundreds of videos that we did that actually showed her how to be successful for not even paying a dollar. Now, of course, Brad, we have programs then and today that if you want private or you want more time with us, there's a fee involved. But most of what we were doing with the 13,000 women was just go into our vault and grab the information, show up to our free classes. And what happened with a lot of these women is this one especially, she says, okay, well, I need more. And we started forming these masterminds of women. So if you take 10 women instead of one woman, it's a lot less expensive to be part of a group or part of learning from two entrepreneurs than if you're doing a one-on-one. And so what this woman went and did is she started her own company. She wrote a book. This was within a 2-year period. She started her own company. She wrote a book. She has her own TV show now and podcast. And she found that if anything, she took something that could have been devastating, being laid off, and she turned it into something positive.
Oh, I love that. Right. Her own TV show. Okay, well, let's talk about
Yeah.
how she got her own TV show. And this whole,
Well,
like you doing this Everyday Woman television network, isn't
yeah,
that right? So
yes,
just tell me
yes.
kind of the origin story of how that all came together, because this is something I'm absolutely fascinated by.
Oh, thank you, Brad. Well, everything shows up as an idea, you know that, and it's just a matter if we think it's a crazy enough idea to do, or maybe it's not crazy enough. I don't know. What basically happened is we found that the number one thing that everybody that was in our group wanted was, how do I get more clients? How do I make more money? And to do that, we learned through our own experiences, and myself being an entrepreneur for 25 years, that if people don't know who you are and people don't see you, they can't buy from you and they can't hire you. And so the TV network came about because when we see people, and of course, TV can mean so many different things today. It could be streaming channels, it could be online, it could be on websites, it could be on so many different platforms like Roku and Apple TV and Amazon Fire and all of these things. We found that when someone sees you speaking, they see you as a person of authority. They see you as an expert. What better way to get these women teaching other women their areas of expertise and possibly attracting clients that want to work with them or buy their products? So that's really what it stemmed from. And then the second piece of it was, well, where can we do this and how can we do it? And we just didn't find a network that was by women for women, meaning all the shows are women and women are watching. And that's really how Everyday Woman TV got started and how we're on 19 platforms now. The last I checked, we have 40 TV hosts now, and they each have their own show. I do not know how many episodes we have at this point. I really should count, but think 40 TV hosts times how many episodes. My show has about 30 episodes right now itself. So just to give you an idea.
Yeah, wow. All right. So what's when you say platforms, like where are people watching all of this content?
Absolutely. So if you have a smart TV, when you go into your applications, you download HBO Max or Netflix or something like that, you can download Everyday Woman TV. It's available to you. Just search it, download it, it's free. We do not charge to stream. Our model thus far, and I believe it'll stay that way, is our hosts pay us to be on the channel because obviously there's fees involved in paying for all the technology and to be on 19 platforms. So smart TVs. Amazon has its own applications. If you have Amazon, you can go in, you can download the TV application on your phone and search Everyday Woman TV. And you can even watch it online at everydaywomantv.com. So that's just a few of the ways, but mostly Roku, smart TVs, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and there's a bunch more that I can't think of.
Wow, that's impressive. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
now
it is.
was it tell me like how hard was it to make those connections with a platform like Amazon or any of these other ones? You know, is that just a back end thing that you just sign up and say, okay, here's the money and you're in? Or is there more to it than
Yes.
that?
It, anybody in some shape or form, obviously it takes money, can have their own app. And really, if we break it down just for a second, what you're seeing on your smart TV is an app. So it's not like when we used to have a TV channel and you go to your cable TV and you turn on ABC Network. That's way more complicated and way more expensive. What we did is we teamed up with a top company that has the in with all of these platforms already, presents you, you need to be approved, and then of course you need to pay for it. So that's basically what we did.
Huh. Wow, that's cool. That's so interesting. I mean, what a great opportunity, I think. You know, that people like ordinary everyday women
Yes.
can step up to the
Not
plate and say,
ordinary, but
okay,
extraordinary, right?
the extraordinary everyday women can step up and go, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the host of my own show. And boom, they're in. I mean, they're actually doing it and they're getting this kind of distribution. That's really, it's, you know, from the past mindset of let's go back to say 1985 and the idea of being on television as a host, the gatekeepers were really
Yes.
tough to break through. So this is
They
kind
still
of
are. They still are.
right, right. Well, I mean, but this is quite remarkable. This is a really interesting new world that you are absolutely pioneering. So, congratulations.
And
That
I think the funnest thing, thank you, the funnest thing for me is seeing the type of show. So we have a mom that's raising an autistic son, and the name of the show is Growing Up with Gus. And she shows him in different areas like karate or cooking or whatever it might be. We have a fashion expert that designs purses. If you ever want to get into the fashion industry, you can learn from her how she did it herself. We have a show all about mindset. We have a show all about health and nutrition. We have another show called Brilliance Cafe that talks to you about marketing. I mean, there's just so many things that you can learn. And what's really great is the formats are all different. You have from 5 minute shows up to hour shows where they're interviewing someone in this kind of platform. My show is 15 minutes. I interview women entrepreneurs from all over the world for 15 minutes. And what I love is we're really letting the women that come to us that want to have their own shows come up with their own creativity. Of course, we support them. Of course, we have training. Of course, we have free classes that are involved, but it's really about what topic of area of expertise do you want to share with the world? Let us give you the platform to do it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, this is really taking a lot of lessons from the podcasting world and
Yes,
translating it into what is essentially internet enabled television. It's
that's
really
exactly it.
sort of all the stuff that's on demand and in any format that you choose that works for what you have in mind in terms of this is the show that I want to create and this is the show that I want to deliver. And I really like that flexibility. And you're not really beholden to anyone in terms of, it's your creativity that will bring this, to the people who you want to be talking to. So when you're looking at this from a creative point of view, and people are doing different kinds of things, like I'm imagining that the person who's doing the fashion show and is talking about her line of purses, she has a lot of things to show. Like it's not necessarily she's just going to talk to people. And I could easily imagine, if somebody's say cooking or they're making something, there's a lot of things to show. So do you have variety like that
Yes,
in the
we do.
presentation?
We do. We have the variety where, just like you and I, Brad, my show is like this, where I'm just interviewing women and we're on and we're talking and we're side by side like this through Zoom or whatever, StreamYard, whatever people are using. We also have people that are taking the camera around, like I said, Growing Up with Gus, where she's taking it to karate and cooking in the kitchen. We have people that are standing and talking just like a reporter would. We have people sitting in their living room on their sofa, sharing things with you. So we've got the opportunity, and the world is at your fingertips because really whatever a video camera can capture. And what I love most about our channel is we're not about ramming opinions down your throat. We're not about the news. We're about everyday experiences. It's kind of like a break from reality because I call our channel kind of like a neutral territory. We don't want you going on there, and we have people like we have Christian business coaches. That's great. I love that. But she's not on there ramming religion down your throat. She's on there sharing with you how you can have the best of both worlds. And I think that's probably my favorite part because it was really important for Angela and I. We're both moms. We both have 3 boys. We're both in long term relationships. And we wanted to bring forth a lot of diversity. So we have different ages, cultures, religions, uh, everything that you can think of. But we just tell the ladies, they say, okay, well, what is it that we can't do? And I say, do not get on and tell people that they should vote this way or go this religion. And it's quite interesting because nobody has even asked to do that. And I think that's just because we attract women that are like us, which are very open minded and very interested in teaching more than shoving things down your throat or pushing an idea or an opinion down on you. It's more of, let me show you how you can be a fashion designer and start your own business. Let me show you how you can market to all over the world. Let me show you how you can change your mindset. That's the kind of things that we wanted. And we honestly have not said no to one person. So I really believe that we're attracting just the right women.
Yeah, that sounds really great. Well, it's a whole new kind of reality TV. It's actually real.
It really is. Yeah.
That's so great. I love it. I really love it. I mean, the variety sounds really good. The diversity sounds really great. I mean, and the fact that it's an entire women network. That's just like
Yes.
cool, like super cool. That's really awesome. So really interesting to hear all about this. All right. So we're getting kind of close to the end of our time today. And I just wondering, like, if there's one thing that you would recommend for women, like if they could learn this now, it would be good for the next 10, 15, 20 years for them. What would that be?
Well, the only phrase that I can think of is yes, you can. That's really it. Yes, you can. I think we live in a world where we say we can't a lot. It's too difficult. It's not the time. The timing's not right. I'll do it later. Whatever excuse your brain tries to come up with because it wants to protect you. And by the way, it does want to protect you because it doesn't want you to fail. It doesn't want you to hurt. It doesn't want you to make a fool out of yourself. It doesn't want you to not succeed. You know what? Everything starts when you let all of that go and you realize, yes, you can. That's the beginning of everything.
Yeah. Okay. And my last question is, what is a top, and this could be more than one or two resource, and this could be anything. It could be a podcast. It could be a newsletter that you subscribe to. It could be a movie that you saw. It could be a book that you've read. Just a resource for women in terms of giving them a nudge to get out there and start celebrating their unique voice.
Well, I'm going to probably end up sharing two books. So the first one I recommend to anybody that will ask is called The Big Leap. It's by Guy Hendrickson, and I read it 5.5 years ago. I have it on Audible, and I have the paperback because I like to highlight and make notes. I'm old school, but Kindle, whatever you guys like to do. But it's such an easy read. It's a short book, and if you really read it over and over again, it will change the way you look at your mindset all day long. And I think everything begins and ends with mindset. And then the second book, I'm going to do a shameless plug, is I'm going to tell you guys that I wrote a book called The Successful Woman's Mindset. And what's really fun about this book is how many people reach out to me and say, because of this chapter, I learned how to believe in myself. Because of this chapter, I learned how to be a leader. Because of this chapter, I recognized how much I've gotten over in the past and how much I could succeed in the future. And I think that the reason I share that book is because it was a 25-year in the making book. It's not something I just woke up in the morning and decided to write. It was something that I had experienced and lived and breathed for 25 years as an entrepreneur, and then decided to put it on paper.
Right. So The Successful Women's Mindset. That's the book. All right. So
Yeah.
if people are listening to this, I'll make sure that the link to where they can go find that book will be in the show notes. And tell people how they could hook up with you. If they want to, they say, okay, I want to go find the Everyday Women community. Where's the best place for them to go?
Absolutely. I am on all social media under Galit Ventura-Rozen. And you can also learn more about Everyday Woman TV at everydaywomentv.com. Nice and easy.
All right. So everydaywomentv.com. That will also be in the show notes. And this has been great. It's been fascinating. I'm really inspired by what you're doing with all of this stuff. I mean, first of all, this community that you've done, that's this virtual group of women on Facebook, sounds really vibrant. And that you've been, over the last 2 years, really creating this ecosystem for women to come in and learn what they need to learn, inspire and support one another. It's the kind of thing, business people, entrepreneurs, we, especially in the last 2 years, have been pretty much in our own little silo, and creating an ecosystem for one another has been essential. Like it's probably the best thing that you can think about doing. And you are basically been doing this for this large group of people. So I'm super impressed by that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Brad. It all comes from a place of purpose and passion, and it's so much fun. I cannot tell you how much fun it is, and I don't think you should do anything if it's not fun. I mean, sometimes we have to do not fun stuff, but try not to as much as possible.
Right. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. This has been really fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for the folks who are still here at the very end, if you're still listening, I just want to remind you that you can go and grab the entire archive of the Standout CEO Show at standoutceoshow.com. And all of the video and all of the podcast episodes are there, so you can binge to your heart's content. And the best way to join is to join us live every Tuesday, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And until the next time, we'll say so